Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And in today's episode, I got this comment underneath a voiceover video that I did. And voiceover video has actually been blowing up like in 2 days, and then got I think it's at like 2 million views now. Like yesterday it was at 1 million. I think I checked earlier and I think it went beyond that 2 million range. But no, anyways, video's been blowing up, been getting a lot of comments underneath it. And there's this one comment, and I'm like, fam, throughout my time as a content creator, people have always tried to get on me for how I talk. You know, they're like, oh, you say like too much. You stutter over your words. You're saying bro too much. Like, that was the latest comment. The guy was like, you're not a man if you gotta say bro. And I'm thinking to myself, I use the men's restroom, all right? I believe I have, like, the male body and stuff. You know, like, I don't hear women saying bro. Like, it might be some out there that says bro, but I think when bro became more of a saying, like, in today's, like, you know, sentences and terminology and all that stuff, I think that was more of a man thing. So what I'm trying to figure out, I guess, how am I supposed to properly talk? You know, because the funny thing is that people, they will click on videos, miss the whole point of the video, and that's the one thing that they notice. That's the one thing that they want to talk on. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, that sounds like a you problem. I don't have a problem. So, and the funny thing is, it's like, I have friends, they'll say sis. I have friends, they'll say girl. I like, if they starting off a sentence, kind of like how I use bro. What else? I mean, like, yeah, I guess, like, you know, I have like some black friends where it's like they say the N-word and things. It doesn't alter the conversation. It's not like I'm having a hard time understanding what they're saying and stuff. So that's why it always trips me out when people, when they do that, they'll talk on how you talk, and I'm like, fam, I don't think nobody besides you, like, they're not worried about how I talk. They're not worried about how I'm holding a conversation. As long as they know what I'm talking about, that's all that matters. You know, so, like, if you're looking deep into the conversation, like, you're trying to, I guess, make me change how I talk because saying bro is a pet peeve for yours, fam, I could care less. I'm still gonna say bro. I'm still going to talk however I want to talk, say like all these other different things. I'm not going to alter how I have a conversation or how I talk just so I can please you. You are a random man on the internet, all right? Woman, whoever. I don't know. It might have been a woman. I'm out here misgendering the the individual. It might have been a woman, you know? Yeah, because I'm like, who? My thing is this. When I get onto social media, yeah, there might be like pet peeves of mine and stuff. Like I'm not going to spread any hateful comments to that individual. But like, no, for an example, like when certain audios and songs go viral on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. Like there's the one where it's like the jet fuel holiday or something like that. I hate that sound. I'm like, I hear it way too often. People have it way too many times in their videos. And I'm like, bro, not every video needs to have that audio. But here's the thing, though. I'm going to go on my own platform and talk on that. I'm not going to go into their comment sections and talk on that because the thing is this is a random individual. I don't know them like that. It's one of those things where I'm like, I guess if somebody were to ask me about, like, let's say if it was like just painting out a picture, you know, thinking of a scenario. So a friend of mine sends me a video and there's like, what do you think about this video? And they have that jet fuel holiday song. I'm like, hey, like you get rid of that. Use another song. It's just, I mean, I guess like if you trying to go viral, do what you want to do. But I'm just letting you know, I hate that audio. So warn me ahead of time so I can mute it. Cause I don't even like hearing that song. I don't like hearing that audio or any of that stuff. But that's the thing though. I'm going to be respectful. Even if it's a complete stranger, they're all like, hey, how do you feel about this video? I am like, oh, it's a good video. It's funny because usually it'll always be some funny video behind that audio and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, video is funny and things. You know, I guess what my thing is this. When people ask, I guess, for my criticism, and I'm not saying everybody has to be like that, but I guess when they ask for my criticism on a video or stream or whatever it is that they're doing and stuff, I view it as a fan. I'm not viewing it as, oh, I gotta be this Rotten Tomato critic and stuff, and I gotta be overly critical because I'm trying to sound smart and all these other things. I guarantee and I promise you I got more of an education than you, and all I have is a high school diploma. So that's why I'm like, a lot of times that's how I honestly do feel about people, though. When they do stuff like that, they get up on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever, Twitter, and they be wanting to argue with you about stuff that don't even matter. I'm like, yeah, your education doesn't know how to process normal conversations because you most likely dropped out at a young age, so you don't know how to go about life. You're trying to figure it out on the internet, and it's like, oh, well, let me kind of test the ropes. Like, I want to be like some form of AI technology and kind of, use how people act there, I guess, and things, and use it for myself in the future. I'm like, fam, no, that's not how you go about having a conversation. My thing is this, and the funny thing, this guy, whoever this individual is, the one that was getting on me about saying bro, I guarantee and I promise you, if they have a job, they probably work around a lot of different, probably unemployed. But anyways, let's just say if they had a job and everybody there was saying bro, do you think they're gonna be all like, oh, you're not a man if you say bro in every conversation? No, they're not gonna say that. Not my thing is this. Let's say they work with some dude that's like 6'3", 220 pounds. Man's out here bench pressing. He be posting videos of himself at the shooting range. This man is crazy, okay? Like, he is insane. He says that he hears voices. He's on his second strike. This man, it's like he's not fully up there. He's that coworker where it's like, hey, look, bro, I heard. I'm not saying that it was me, but I heard. You're going to get written up. But you got to say from a distance. You can't be like right there up in their face because they might snap on you and things, But they one of them co-workers where it's like, hey, look, bro, like I'm not trying to get on your bad side here. I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to help you out. Like, this is that one where it's all like, hey, look, bro. All right, like I'm not trying to have no funny business here. I'm like, just let's work together. So you ain't getting ready to get fired and things. But let's just say that individual says bro in every way he starts a sentence. Do you think that guy is going to approach this crazy man and be like, hey, you're not a man if you say bro? It's one of those things. I feel like the guy, the one that's crazy, the crazy coworker, he's just going to look at them and laugh and be like, I could end your existence right now, but I'm not going to because I actually like this job. It pays good. I'm able to pay my bills and all this other stuff. But let's just say any other situation, any other scenario, you wouldn't, that will be your last sentence. That's the thing. People, on the internet, they feel way too comfortable, with, like, I guess, expressing, quote unquote, expressing their mind. But at the same time, it's like them expressing their mind, they don't realize that it's offensive. Like, there's at times where people, they get on me for how I sound. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, if it's because I sound black, it's because I am black. Like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to, am I supposed to use my proper voice and articulates every single word that I'm not good at doing a white voice because I'm not white. I'm like, yeah, there might be some out there, they be, thinking about that stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm thinking like me. I'm talking like me. This is how I guess my thing is this. If I was supposed to talk any other way, I would have been put in them situations and scenarios to talk in that way, but I wasn't. I'm like, this is how I'm supposed to talk. I'm supposed to say like. I'm supposed to say bro. I guess if you don't like the conversation, fam, why are you sitting here listening to the conversation? Like, that's the thing. People will hear this podcast episode, right? And they will have a certain day, they feel a certain way about how I talk. Meanwhile, there's all these different people, from strangers, and the funny thing is, if I do have a conversation with a stranger and they don't like the way I talk, they ain't gonna say it to my face that they don't like the way I talk. The thing is this, the only time I would have to say when people was getting on the way that I talk was back when I was a kid and I had a little bit of a speech problem. So to kind of give you guys a little backstory on that. So when I would say certain words, it would sound like I had like a southern like accent and things, like I was born down south. Because a lot of the times people had thought that. They was all like, oh, are you from somewhere down south? And I'm like, no, my parents are, but I'm not. I was born out here and things. They are like, dang, like, how is he born out here in Washington, but he got a southern accent? Like, what is that? And so, but no, anyways, once I think I remember it was like I think teachers and they were noticing it, so I ended up getting put into one of these like speech classes to help on my speech and stuff. And yeah, because there were some words where I could not pronounce, like any words that started with an R, I could not pronounce it. So like when I would say my name Tyler, instead of saying Tyler, it would be coming out as like Tyler. But no, so eventually it was figured out why I say words in a certain way. So the speech teacher, she was all like, hey, can you say these words real quick? So I'm saying them. I'm all like, woad, revenue. She's like, can you say like, okay, let's kind of put it at the end and stuff. So it's all like instead of like saying boxer, I'm saying boxer. And I'm like, oh, Tyler. And then it's like, it's these words that got the letter R in there. I'm like, nah, let's just say the letter R. Ah. And it's like, no, that's not how it's pronounced. R. Ah. I'm like, fam, I could not say any words that started or ended with an R. So eventually the speech teacher, she figured it out so I guess when you're in the womb, I think it's when you're in the womb, but when you're in the like womb and stuff, like when you're like, your mom is pregnant with you and all that stuff, your tongue is anchored down to the bottom. This is what she told me. I don't know if it's true or not. She could have just been saying that to me just to be saying that. But anyways, your tongue is anchored down at the bottom of your mouth. Like, I guess like that's in the development stage, but at some point in time, it's supposed to go back, like the part that's anchoring your tongue down and stuff. It's supposed to go back so your tongue can flip up in the air, or not. Well, not flip. It sounds weird, but it can like lift up off of the bottom of your mouth and stuff. That part of my tongue had never, like, it never went back. It never, like, disappeared and things. So I was born with that. And so, yeah, it was like, I remember just looking into the mirror, because I always thought it was just a part of, because I remember seeing it before it was pointed out and stuff. I just always thought that was normal. I was like, I guess I never really had paid attention to overall like people's tongues like that and stuff. So anyways, so she goes and she ends up calling my mom, telling her about it, and then saying like, yeah, there's this doctor where they could do this surgery, get that removed so he could start saying words properly and stuff. So anyways, yeah, I ended up getting surgery and things. And it was crazy. Like, it was actually a crazy process, because I thought they were just there to just kind of check and see like if it was going to be bad or not. But no, the doctor, so he's checking. He's like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. We could actually do the surgery right now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I'm down. Yeah, I'm 100% down. I don't know why in my head I'm over here thinking, we ain't gonna do this surgery. Like, he probably was just saying that just to hype me up and things, but we probably ain't gonna do this surgery right now. No, they started prepping me. They started sitting me back in the chair. They started, like, showing me, like, there's like, okay, this is what we gonna be using. We also gonna numb up this area of your tongue so you don't feel nothing, because I think they had used, like, some form of a laser, or, like, they used something to cut it down and stuff, like, or to, like, burn it down. So, yeah, they pretty much had, they burnt my mouth. And it wasn't like they burnt my whole mouth. Like, it was sore afterwards, like, when trying to like talk, so that was the whole process. So they had numbed up the area. I can't remember what they either used as numbing gel or whatever, but anyways, they numbed up the area. Had it where they was burning down that part of my tongue. It was, so viewer discretion is advised. If you guys got weak stomachs, this next part, it's probably gonna make you a little wheezy. I can smell my flesh. Like, it was, my flesh was going up my nostrils, fam. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, dang, I don't, what am I, this is new, like, this is a familiar smell. It like, you know what, the weird thing is, it smelled like barbecue. Like, I think that's what the guy had said, like, it's gonna smell like barbecue a little bit, or like it was gonna smell like something was cooking. And yeah, I was like, no, yeah, it was like, once when that smell had hit my nostrils, I was like, oh, this is weird. This is the weird. But no, so the funny thing is that, so as they were prepping me, then I started getting nervous. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like, maybe we shouldn't do this right now. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this right now. Like, I don't know why. I'm like, all of a sudden, but mind you, I'm awake throughout the whole procedure. So so it wasn't like I was in and out of conscious or any of that stuff, because I know people are like, well, wait a minute, if you're out of conscious. No, I was never out of conscious. I was up the whole time. That was, so because of, I guess, like how minimum like the danger was of that surgery, that I didn't need to be put out and stuff. I guess maybe if it would have been like some actual like cutting me open and stuff like that, then they probably would have had to put me out. But no, they was all like, they numbed up the area, either lasered it down or whatever they did, and then after that I was able to lift my tongue up and stuff. And I'm like, I had like a normal tongue like everybody else and things, but man, oh my God, it was like, it was so weird, being able to like lift my tongue up. I'm like, wow, I guess this is what it feels like to be human. I'm like, after 11 years, and it's probably, well, I don't know. I guess like if something like that, if I were to get it discovered today, it probably would be a little harder to pronounce some words with R's and all that stuff. But no, overall though, yeah, I did that when I was 11, and then after that I was like, man, it was different. It was like I didn't go throughout the rest of middle school, because it was like 6th grade when that had happened. So I was like, I didn't go the rest throughout or go throughout middle school, high school, and my adult life, because I'm telling you, I don't even think there's probably any videos. No, there was. I don't even have any like videos like where I can like show you guys, because I'm trying to think, like I don't even think I might have to. When did I get that digital camera? I think I might have gotten that camera. I think it was after I had did that surgery and stuff. So I don't think I have no video evidence to showcase to you guys how I used to talk. Cause it was like having a speech problem, and then it was. I think I would rather deal with how I talk now versus how I used to talk back then. I'm like, cause how I used to talk back then, it was much more worse. So it's like people always be wanting to like try to get on me for how I talk. And they're like, oh, you say this word too much, you do this too much, you that. Fam, I'm not trying to please you. That's one thing that people need to understand, is that whatever a person is doing, they're not doing it to please you, they're not doing it to satisfy you, they're not doing it to entertain you. However that person talks, that's how that person talks. But that's just all aspects of life, whatever it has to do with content creating, whether it has to do with talking, whether it has to do with just how a person, their day-to-day life is, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Fam, there's so many different people where they're probably doing things that I don't like, where it's like, oh, they get a pair of some fresh Jordans or something and they dirty them up and things. I'm like, dang. I'm like, why are you doing it like that? Or they're playing a video game and they're speed running it rather than enjoying it. And I'm like, bro, why is you doing that? Or if they like, there's a certain way, instead of like, they pour their milk first and then their cereal. And I'm like, nah, bro, you deserve prison time for that. The thing is this though, I laugh about that stuff. I don't care. That type of stuff don't mean nothing to me. But I'm like, even if it was on some stuff that was like, oh, it was a legitimate pet peeve and all this other stuff, I still don't care. I don't know. With me, I'm in a point in time in my life where stuff like that don't matter. I'm like, I ain't got time to be sitting around worried about how people are talking and all this other stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with me. All right, so. But anyways, you got some people out there where it's like, for some odd reason, they think that, oh, I got to state my opinion and stuff. And I'm like, my thing is this. Whoever this individual was, whether they a man, a woman, I'm like, you're not an adult if you're having to have conversations like that on the internet where you're getting on people for how they talk. That's some kid stuff. Kids do things like that. Kids are the ones where they might be saying it in an adult way, but you still got a kid mentality where it's like, because kids, you'll see where a kid, they go and ask you, oh, why do you talk like that? You talk different. That's something that a kid would say. As an adult, you learn to understand and, accept that type of stuff. But if you still, as an adult, are having to, get on people about how they have a conversation or about the words that they say and all that, you're a kid, bro. I'm like, that's one of those things where I'm not going to justify myself to no child. I'm like, go to school and get your education. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.